Hello, we have the brand new to the market Mesa Badlander 25. It has two EL84 power tubes, 512 AX7s, a series tube buffered effects loop. It also has the 2 notes cab clone IR direct out, and there are 8 preloaded impulses on this for each channel. So you could have channel 1 set up as a rectifier cab and channel 2 as a Thiel cab or a Lone Star cab, whichever you desire. You can also overwrite those with your own impulse responses, and the manual tells you how to do that. I won't tell you how to do that because I prefer the Mesa ones because they work. There is no reverb, there is no solo boost, no tuner mute, and the foot switch is a single button latching foot switch. Much easier to replace one of those than one of these. The cable is your standard unshielded cable that goes to it. We aren't using the foot switch today. We're going straight to the amp, and I will flick the switch here as I'm at the front. Each channel has the same 3 modes: clean, crunch, and crush. I guess they wanted to change the names from clean, vintage, and modern, or raw, or whatever they used before. I've been a Mesa player forever, so I'm just used to hearing modern and vintage mode. But the front panel, the controls are the same. You have a power and a standby switch, master, presence, bass, mid, treble, and gain. Each channel is identical to the other, so you could set them exactly the same if you wanted. I have a friend that he likes single channel amplifiers. This would be a great amplifier for him, even though it has 2. He could use one as his solo channel and one as his rhythm channel, and that would be his foot switch, would set that so he could have solo boost if he wanted without using an EQ or anything like that. The other cool thing about this amplifier, it has a reactive load in it. So if you wanted to, you could go over to it and you could say, hey, I'm taking the speaker out of it with nothing in the chain, and it will not harm the amplifier. It defaults to an interactive load, a reactive load in the amplifier for it. Also, there is a headphone out, and the direct out, in my opinion, on the Badlander series of amplifiers is the best that Mesa has come up with. I don't think that they've made a very usable one to me. That's not to say it doesn't work. They do have a cab clone item itself, and it's very good, but I found that I can take my Badlander 100, the big brother of this, and I can save stage space. And some of these stages, when you're playing, a square foot is huge. That space for a microphone stand and a mic go into that cabinet, that's tremendous savings in some of these cramped clubs. So with that said, very usable cab out on this. Now, what you just saw me do where I unplugged that could be damaging to a lot of other amplifiers, not the Badlander. Interest of full disclosure, this one, I just received it yesterday, and I had to replace the power tubes. I had a bad one out of the box. Now, I don't want to hear any of this. It's Gibson's fault, blah, blah, blah. Quality control is in the toilet. No, it was a bad power tube. It's a simple fix. If you have a tube amplifier, 99% of your problems are going to be tubes. I would probably say less. I'm going to say more of it's user error because people don't understand how to change a fuse or tubes. I see this too often on a bench where the wrong rating fuse is in an amplifier. So just quick sidebar, if you're buying a used tube amplifier, your first check before you do anything, go to the fuse, pull it out and look at it. It'll say on there what value it takes. Look at the fuse. Is it the same value as what it says? If the answer is no and it's a higher value in your hand, that person blew something up in the amp, put a higher value fuse in it, and eventually something else is going to fail. But back to this. So this amplifier has the heritage of the rectifier behind it. Now, when you think of a rectifier, some people think of the series of amplifiers of rectifier. Now, what a rectifier does, electronically speaking, it's confusing to a lot of people, but it changes how your current moves, okay? So you have your AC to your DC, and that can be done via solid state electronics, or it can be done via tube. So you have tube rectifiers. Some people prefer the sound of a tube rectifier. Some people prefer, as they call it, silicone diodes. It's what you would see in the dual rectifiers of old, on the current ones actually as well. But the Badlanders, they say rectifier on it, but it is a solid state rectifier. So with that said, no tube rectifier, nothing to worry about there. We're gonna get some sound samples going here. So I have the quick start settings that are mentioned in the user manual. The only difference is I don't have the master where they say on the dirty channel yet, because it gets quite belligerent if you put it there. I'll move it up there. I'm going to take you through the usable chain. We're going to do it with 2 guitars, and I'm doing most of my talking now because the video I recorded yesterday, I didn't give the phone long enough to recover from the sonic assault that I gave it with this. So I've moved the phone a little bit. This is a little bit better angle to hear the recording with it, but bear in mind it's being recorded with an iPhone 11. So guitar 1 will be a Paul Reed Smith Custom 24, mahogany body, maple top, HFS in the bridge, mahogany neck, rosewood fingerboard. The second guitar will have a JB in the bridge, swamp ash body, maple neck, rosewood fingerboard. All right, oh, and this is a set neck construction, and that's a bolt-on neck construction. This has a trem, but it's set up as a hardtail. I'm sorry, no, it's set up decked. This one's decked to the body, and this one here is a hardtail. So without further ado, we're using the sample settings here that the manual talks about in the 25 watt mode. What I'm going to do, I'm going to play a simple riff. It's not a song, so if you ask, hey, what song is that? It's just, I'm trying to give you some of the upper register and some of the lower in one passage. I'll play it in 25 watt. I'll switch guitars, play in 25 watt, and then we'll do some 10 watt. So here we go. mess that all up. So we'll go to the 25 watt mode, and we'll do the sample settings from the manual on the clean channel. Now to note, in the manual, it states that it shows a picture of the clean setting, but it says that the switch is in the crunch mode. So I just want to say that we'll do it clean and then I'll move it to crunch, because I'm assuming they mean clean, because it sounds pretty good, but they say crunch, so we'll do both. So here we are. We'll go to the neck pickup for this, and we'll go to our upper channel 25 watt clean mode. So here we go. It's a joke. Bridge position. Neck. No split. Bridge, this will be very bright. Not too bad there. So now we'll go to the crunch setting, which is what the manual says, but it shows a picture of what I just played. So the same settings on that channel. You got to make this face for it. We'll switch guitars here. I wanted to try something there while it was in crunch. I wanted to roll back the volume and just get an idea how much that would clean up there. So we're going to move back to the clean and just noodle around with a different guitar. So DiMarzio SDS1's in the middle and the neck, and the bridge pickup here. You'll kind of get an idea of what I'm moving to. You'll see it and you'll hear the tonality difference. So that's going to be the bridge, the neck, the middle. You'll notice you get a little more hum because these aren't hum canceling cymbals. So just, that is what they are. Change channels here. We're going to go back to the overdrive setting. So I want to say that it's a very tight amplifier. A lot of folks, we run overdrives in front of our amplifiers to kind of tighten them up. The Triple Crown's a great example because it has a tight mode in it, and that's Grid Slammer circuitry speaking in terms of a circuit with the knob set at noon. That's what the tight mode does inside a Triple Crown. So there are some people that actually run a Triple Crown and they'll run a boost in front of it while it's in tight mode to just really compress that. I find the Badlander, it tightens up extremely well with an overdrive, and I'll do that in the video when I run the effects loop. The overdrives will be in front, but I want to show effects in front and behind and all that. But I also find that this amp is very, very tight without one. So I'm going to do just like some as Olo would say, we'll do some chug. I'm going to turn the gain up just a little bit more on this, and we'll turn up the volume just a hair. So here we are. pausing so you can hear me speak. You can hear I'm on the edge of feedback there because I'm covering the pickup and I'm sitting a foot from the amplifier. So the last thing that I want to do here, I'm going to roll the gain back just to where it was before. I'm going to put the master volume at noon, which is what the manual shows for the quick setting, and it's going to get pretty belligerent pretty quickly. So we're going to go to noon right now with it. Same, all the other settings are exactly the same. I have pretty cool neighbors when it comes to getting to play guitar. None of them give me any grief, so I don't like to abuse that with them. If you're in a neighborhood where you have cool neighbors, treat them well, and they'll do this same thing for you. They'll tolerate you playing during normal hours at a little bit excessive volume for not too long. So just be good to them and they'll be good to you. So with that said, you notice it got a little brighter, and the manual talks about that. The manual says the louder you go, your bass should come back, and the higher your gain goes, your bass could come back. And you want to put yourself, as they call it, in the line of fire, because most folks, they stand up, they play, they EQ their amp, and they sound good here, but then someone standing at stage level is going to hear this just belligerently beating them in the head, and it's not good. So with that said, quickly, to finish this up, we're running into a Mesa Vertical 212 with vintage 30s. I don't know if I remember to say that. The signal is straight in. We got a Fender cable going right to the amp. I don't even have the foot switch plugged in. I don't have anything in the effects loop. I have a Planet Waves cable going from the head to the cab, and that's it. So I mean, we're not using any of the features on the direct out or anything. I do want to say quickly, the only thing I had available to me in the garage was this chunk of shit Gemini speaker. You can check it out in yesterday's video, which is very, very poor audio quality. And I did run the amp direct into it, and it actually sounded pretty good. The whole reason I got that speaker, it's a decent powered speaker. You can do yard work, leaf blow, lawn mow, whatever, and you can have some tunes going while you do it. And if you're having family or whatever, it's a nice cookout speaker. But it has an onboard mixer into it, and I ran the amp into it just to see if it would, if I could get the amp to blow it up, quite frankly. And no, it actually sounded good. But anyway, the next videos will have the effects loop. I'm gonna have some overdrives with it, play some different licks, and talk a little bit more about it. For the last thing that I'm gonna do for this video, I'm going to play just a dun, 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 dun. I'm gonna roll the bass all the way off, all the way up. I'm gonna play the same dun, 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 dun. I'm gonna roll the mid all the way off, all the way up. And I'll do the same with the treble and the presence and the gain. So actually I'll start with the presence. That'll be the first one I do. So here we go. presence, and I rolled all the way off and all the way up. The treble all the way up was god awful. You saw my face there. About noon is pretty good with these settings for most of the stuff, and I think you're going to find that that's the sweet spot. A little less, a little more. I'm really a fan of what I'm hearing so far. I really like the amplifier, and I think what I might do here, we're gonna have some more warm days. I might compare the 100 watt and the 25 watt side by side. I have another one of these cabs. I can put them together and just switch back and forth between it. So that'd be pretty cool. So we'll finish up here with some settings that I kind of liked yesterday. And we'll move the volume up just a smidge because everyone likes more volume. So where we're at, we have our master at about 10, our presence 1030, our bass is at 130, our mids are at 1, our treble's a little below noon, and our gain is about 130. I'm gonna play that same riff that we played several times through. I'll do a quick dun 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 dun, and we'll wrap this one up. Pull the treble back a little. That's pretty good. So, read the manual when you get one, buy one when you can get one. Oh, interesting story on this, you heard it here. These were to have a copper faceplate, and last minute they changed to a black one. And these weren't supposed to be announced when they were, but Premier Guitar kind of dropped the ball for everybody. So when folks see you roll up with a Mesa, I run into this, they immediately just made comments about volume. Oh, you're playing through a Mesa hashtag. Oh my God, you're gonna be so loud. You're gonna go up there and you're gonna play with this setting here, with the volume right here, and you're gonna go up and you're gonna hit your first thing and they're gonna say you're too loud. And you know, Oscar the Grouch or whoever the garbage pail guy was from Sesame Street, he's gonna be pounding on his shit and you're not gonna be able to hear yourself. And then you're gonna turn up and the sound guy's gonna leave you alone. But with these, get a good sound. In all seriousness, put yourself in the line of fire. I really like that the book says it that way, that it's sage advice when it comes to this. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this video audio is a little bit better than yesterday, and I will get the FX board into this and some more clean sounds for you to listen to, because I think hearing this amplifier through its paces is going to be good. I recommend it. I enjoy it. I paid the brand new price of $15.99 plus Pennsylvania state sales tax of 6%. No discounts, nothing like that, but I did get free shipping. And I believe I'm one of a handful of the first people in the US to get one. I know Sweetwater's supposed to get theirs sometime this month or early next month. If you have a rep, call where I got mine. I got mine at Northeast Music in Pennsylvania. They were super cool. I called them up about the tube issue. I said, listen, I kind of work on these things for folks when they need stuff. My capabilities are more advanced than some and less advanced than the guy I go to. And the guy I go to when I can't troubleshoot something, I call him up, I get advice and all that. That store actually knew him. I said to them, hey, would you care if I swapped out the tubes rather than mail the amp back? They said, go ahead. Swapped it out, worked fine. I sent them a video. They said, hey, that's great. And the store is so cool. They're handling the return tube thing for me with Mesa. They're gonna have the replacement tube shipped to me. So that's really cool. It was no fuss at all. I can't say enough good things about them. It's my second order from them. I ordered something else just off their website on a whim. And super cool. And it's pretty cool that they're the one of the nation's largest Mesa dealers. I think they're the largest on the East Coast. So I bought it myself, don't worry, it's not a paid thing. I'm 100% self-sponsored, much to my chagrin. But that's it. Mesa Badlander 25. And we'll give you little look-see here. And we'll bring this in a little bit closer to it so you can see what my settings were when we finished up. We'll bring you around the back so you can see there's no tomfoolery. And you can see those nice JJs glowing in there. All right, we'll see you soon.